There he is. He's right there. Shoot him. What are you doing? Shoot him. He's right there. Shoot him. He's right there.
There's nobody else here.
He's right there. Shoot him. Sarah, you gotta shoot him. Shoot him now. Shoot him. Sarah, he's right there. Shoot him. He's right there. Shoot him now.
Welcome, Horror Fiends! Ricky Grimes back, representing Horror Fiend TV. This is the Valentine's Day special. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone here. We got JR and we got Joe. What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Hey, man, just a good special here. See if you lovers are also horror movie lovers, because this one kind of rips at the heart.
What up, Joe?
Hey, what's up, everyone? So yeah, I mean, if you're looking at something to watch tonight, maybe this might be a little choice to put on. It's available on HBO Max. So any subscribers, you know what you watch tonight.
Absolutely. So if you got your significant other, cuddle up, get yourself some hot chocolate or some wine, whatever you want to do. Watch this flick. We're talking My Bloody Valentine. Of course, it's Valentine's Day. We gotta go with My Bloody Valentine. Now, come on. Now, we're gonna be discussing the 2009 version of this film. But before we get into that, this film was a remake of an original film from 1981. It's a Canadian film. So, Joe, we're going back to Canada.
You know my love of Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the original one, obviously, because we like to talk about what's available for you guys to stream. We're not going to talk about the original one, but yeah, the original one, it was one of the first slashers. It was greatly done. It is an appreciation for me. I wish I owned the DVD for it. I do have somewhere back here the 2009 version. Though.
If you want to watch the original version, there is a 2009 version that was a re-release of the original 81 version that added, I believe, like 3 additional minutes, but of footage that was cut from the original presser. Now you can tell when you watch this footage because the quality is really bad. You could tell, but the gore that was taken out and put back in, it's so worth it. So if you're a fan of the original and you haven't seen the 2009 re-release, before you watch the new one, watch that one because it's worth it. Some of the scenes, oh man, it's a gore store. And that original, the victims were mostly blue collar folks, not teenagers, more or less. But they did act like teenagers a lot in the film, having sex, drinking, and partying, all that stuff. But they were minors, so they were kind of releasing stress, and if you want to say it that way. But in this version here, the 2009 was it, guys?
2009.
So this version stars Jensen Ackles. If you watch Supernatural, you know who he is. This is one of his earlier films that he participated in.
Right. Well, this is while he was doing Supernatural.
He was already known for that, right?
So this actually, when this came out, either the year before or the same year, Jensen Paladecki did the remake of Friday the 13th. So it was kind of funny that the Supernatural brothers both came out in remakes.
I remember that.
And actually, out of the 2 remakes, I like this version. I like the My Bloody Valentine better than the remake of Friday the 13th.
Okay. This film here, if we're going to compare to both films, I forgot. The one thing about this film, I forgot how violent it was.
Yeah, it was.
Very violent.
Very violent. Now, I'm going to just jump in real quick. And the only thing I don't like about it is it's a 3D movie. My Bloody Valentine 3D. So when you watch it, the normal version, it looks so bad, the 3D effects, because you're not watching it in 3D. You can tell it's meant to be 3D, but it's just, I don't know. We'll get into that, though. So I'm going to go with, all right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, JR. I'm going to go with you, son. My Bloody Valentine, 2009, the 3D version. What's going to be what's your first impressions on this guy?
Well, like you were saying, it was pretty bloody. Right from the get-go. I mean, the whole scene at the beginning, with their, the killer, waking up in the hospital and just going on a freaking rampage. I mean, that was awesome. Like, I love that. Yeah, I mean, the violence was good. I mean, I love Jamie King. I mean, Jamie King is amazing.
Mhm.
If you don't know who Jamie King is, you know, Sin City. I mean, she played Goldie. And I mean, it's funny, like when you see these movies, like you said, Echoes and then her. And oh god, I forgot the name. You had the guy who played the sheriff. He's been in a lot
Kurt
of horror
Smith.
movies.
Kurt Smith. Kurt
Yes.
Smith.
Yeah.
Kurt Smith was from Dawson's Creek and The Forsaken. I think there was a vampire
See,
movie.
when you say your guy, I'm thinking my boy Tom Atkins. I love Tom Atkins. He was the original sheriff, right? Because this
Yes.
movie starts and then it jumps 10 years after. So,
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, Tom Atkins, obviously the Fog, Creepshow. I mean,
Yes.
he is like, I love Tom. Escape from New York. I mean, I could go on.
No, see him was amazing. I mean, he's such a horror icon.
He is,
I mean, and see him was good.
Season of the Witch. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Yeah, I
Season-
knew that.
Season of the Witch.
I was waiting for that. That's why I kind of threw it in there. I was waiting for you to say that. No, but yeah, it was. I mean, if you're a horror fan, I mean, this is a slasher right up there. This is like
yeah.
this is pure slasher.
If you're looking for violence and gore, this movie has a lot of it. How about you, Joe? What's your first
Well,
impression?
guess what? They're all shooting it down, but while they were talking, I went ahead and pulled out my copy.
He's got
that
glasses
actually-
on bed, right? He's got glasses.
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, I got my glasses.
Bro, mail me one over here, bro.
I
Give me
literally,
glasses, bro.
listen.
I'll send it back to you. I need to see.
I get. Oh, I will send you this for you watch that 3D. I
Yeah.
get what you guys are saying. You know, when you're watching it on regular, it kind of seems
Yeah.
a little cheesy. On the 3D, you knew where the 3D shots were. I'd like, because I love the original so much, I'd like just seeing it a little differently. So I didn't hate the 3D part, you know. And this,
Yeah,
what
it didn't ruin it. It didn't
ruin it.
It just stands out so much that it kind of takes you out of it for the moment.
well, the same thing when you watch, you know, Friday the 13th,
Or like
3D.
Jaws 3D, you know.
Jaws 3D. I mean, but like I said, I was a huge Supernatural fan. So when I went to watch this, obviously I went to watch it because Jensen Ackles was in it. You know, I like this movie. This was I hate remakes. Any movie that I especially like, only because you sometimes have to lower your expectations. Because my expectations were lowered, I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, I'm in between. I did enjoy it. I think it has, you know, I know JR, we talked off camera for a bit about it, so I know where you're gonna go with this, so I'm not gonna step on your toes. But yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part, but it's got its flaws, obviously, but it all depends on where you fall on this. Me personally, it had some great scenes in it. I rewatched it again and I forgot that there was a scene with the one naked girl that was running around naked for like it felt like 15 minutes.
Forever.
They made sure it was a full shot.
Yes,
too.
full
Forever.
full frontal, like nothing. Like, what's going on? Is this a porn film? Like,
Dude, I thought the shots in the Piranha remake have been bad, and whenever you watch this was worse than the Piranha remake. So yeah.
But a movie like that, so over the top, or you would expect it for this, where it took itself a bit more seriously, and you saw that, and it's so hilarious. Where the guy, he gets caught filming, and she runs out there with a pistol to get the tape back, and then the minor is inside. You know, Harry Warden, right? Yes. Harry Warden, yeah. But yeah, it's got its moments. Let's put it that way. Now,
but then you had a little bit, because then you have this, it gives you the slasher with a little bit of comedy, because right after that scene you're talking about, then with the times, it's really hard on saying things without offending anybody, but then you had the dwarf. Is that what you would call her? The lady who ran the hotel?
Yeah.
Then you had, because it was meant to be funny. But no, so like there's like the movie, you know, when you got to the scene with her trying to get away from him, you know, it added some levity to it, you know. But yeah, the gore, like this in this movie, I thought the gore was a little bit more than the original. Like the gore factor in this one was a little bit more elevated.
Mm-hmm. It was. It was. JR, so let's talk about this, JR. What didn't you like about this film?
Here's the problem that I have with this film. Now, the problem that I have with remakes is you want to kind of separate yourself a little bit from, you know, the original. You want to come up with something different. I mean, The 3D was there, the difference. But for me, is right from the get go, you knew who the killer was going to be. I mean, come on. I mean,
See,
the
I
whole scene in the
didn't.
beginning. Yes, you did it.
No, I truthfully, I did not.
It was so obvious to me. But what killed me is, let's have him get the personality of Harry that possessed him from time to time. I mean, all you had to do was just basically say he started killing people because he was pissed off because they left him behind. They left him behind, and that could have been a better motive than, he was in the mental hospital. Harry's inside him. I mean, when I seen it, I was like, this is. I mean, I knew he was going to be the killer from the get go. It was, for me, it was just
to watch it from your perspective.
It was just
honestly,
bad writing. Because the minute they left him behind, I'm like,
well, the problem was this. So if you seen the original, you knew the twist was coming with the killer. Harry Warden wasn't going to be the guy. So it was either, what was this, Tom? That was his name, right? Tom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tom, or I forgot his friend's name. The other guy. Those two people that they kind of. Axel. No, was it Axel?
Yeah, it was Axel.
Axel.
Yeah. Tom.
So it was Tom and Axel. You knew it was one of them two, obviously. So Axel was too much on the nose. So I could see where JR is coming from, where a newer viewer would probably be like, okay, it's got to be Tom, right? Because Axel's it's too telegraphed.
Well, see, for me, coming from somebody who's a Supernatural fan, I didn't expect for them to make him the bad guy.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like he was supposed to be the hero.
Draw. He's the draw. He's the one that everyone's going to the theater to see.
Yes, like he was supposed to be the hero. He's the hero on Supernatural, so he wouldn't be playing the bad guy here. So I mean, I guess I looked at it through rose-colored glasses, as far as because of the character that he was playing on Supernatural, he wouldn't be the bad guy. So for me, the twist, him being the bad guy, did catch me off guard. I didn't see it coming. And then once they started showing, I'm like you said, looking back, I guess the signs were there.
If you watch it back, they tried so hard to point all the evidence towards Axel.
Yeah.
And it was too on the nose for that. So you knew, all right, I think there's going to be a swerve on this one,
No, even the scene, that was the whole thing. It's like, Tom saying, Axel's a killer. Axel saying Tom's a killer. I mean, that whole back and forth was just.
Yeah, let me see it.
There was no need for that.
Let me ask you guys. So in the original film, in the original film, the killer was I forgot his name, but it was one of there was two characters who were pretty much feuding over one girl, Sarah, same name. So in the original film, again, Axel, his character in the original, he was the killer, but there wasn't, at that time, there wasn't no, you thought it was Harry the whole time. There wasn't no, it could have been Axel, or no, it's Tom, or in the original TJ. There wasn't any of that. So when that reveal happened in the original film, Axel, his dad was one of the original workers that let Harry die in the original film. So when Harry came back and killed his parents in front of Axel, that turned Axel crazy. But in this film here, the new one, it was Tom who was the Harry character. But are they letting us to believe that he was possessed by Harry or something? That's what I was confused about.
There is a confusion because it does seem to be that.
Because in the original film, Harry went to a mental institution. In the remake, they believe him to be dead because there was a collapse.
No, Tom was in a mental institution himself.
But that wasn't real till at the end, though.
Right, but Tom was in a mental institution. So
that's what I'm saying.
He
so
could be believing that he was Harry. But
this is where they messed up even more, though, was the fact that
you guys are killing my movie now.
When they went to the grave to dig him up where Harry was supposed to be, he was never in there. So they left it up in there that Harry was still around, out and about. So you had an opportunity to actually bring Harry back because technically he wasn't dead.
Well, and he didn't die, and Tom didn't die either because Tom, at the end, Tom didn't die.
No, I know he didn't die, but
they left it open for another one.
Thank God it was 12 years ago, 13.
You never let him bring it back.
hey, Supernatural just finished, so he's open, man.
Nah, for me that was the big issue. I mean, you still had an opportunity to bring Harry back, which I think would have made the movie a little bit better.
Yeah,
but
I can see that. Yeah,
it was too much of a I don't know. Like they try to push too much the
What?
whole
Yeah. See,
Axel, Tom, Sarah
yeah.
storyline, which
What I don't like is this is what I don't like, and it's not this movie per se. A lot of movies do this when they
yes.
do this twist where, all right, Tom was the killer, but all right, every time we saw the killer, he was the minor. How did he
Yes.
get in and out of costume so fast in between? Like, because there was scenes where literally the minor's killing somebody, then the next shot you see Tom, doing his thing. So when did he? You know what I'm saying?
It could have just been by the perspective
You
of
see,
Tom.
even the first movie did that. Like they did that with
It could have been the
Axel
perspective
character.
of Tom. Like you're seeing it by the perspective of Tom.
So what I was gonna go into, I was gonna ask you guys. There was never a time where like where we see the minor that's all through Tom's head. Like the victims, they're not seeing the minor, they're seeing Tom.
Tom.
Essentially. Okay.
Right.
All right. How are
So
you,
that's
Joe?
what I think.
Anything you don't like about this film? Anything bug you? I mean, I know you really. I don't mean to bag on this film.
Nah,
We're not.
No.
We're not bagging that. We're just telling us what.
No,
we like
no,
and we
no,
don't
no.
like.
I mean, like I said, we decided we're gonna try to do a couple of these little episodes where we talk about little special stuff, and I mentioned this. I went into it because of Jensen Ackles.
That's all,
I'm not even gonna lie.
That's all right.
So
Listen,
for me, I went into it because who was in it. I love horror movies. When you got a character, a person in there who's playing somebody that I know, and it is somebody that I like, I'm gonna watch it.
yeah,
So because you took someone who's played a hero
yeah.
for so long and turned him into the villain, for me, that's what I liked it.
That's cool.
Because
yeah.
I really truly go into almost every single movie just low expectations.
Mhm.
Because if you walk in and expecting the best movie ever, you're just going to always disappoint yourself.
Yeah.
So if you walk in low expectations, you're going to be surprised, and which is why I have an affinity for this movie. Is because as much as I love the original one, I actually really do like this one. I like the twist. I like the twist only because I wasn't expecting it, because they made someone who has essentially been playing a superhero be the bad guy.
Yeah, you're right. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too.
And it caught me off guard. Like I'm like,
yeah.
oh, what?
A movie. See, this movie to me had great gore effects.
Yeah.
Really good.
Great.
Very violent. It had Jensen Ackles, good. He was good. Tom Atkins, great. Jamie King, great. It had that one. What was her name though? Irene, was it the one naked chick running around all over the place? He was great. Like it had good moments in it. And a movie like this, I know Jared said the story he wasn't feeling it. I don't go into this type of film for that. If I could be entertained for an hour and a half, 2 hours with this good gore, fun characters, I'm okay with that. This isn't like a movie like The Lodge, for example, which that's built upon story. That's a good series, But this, you go in this, you have a beer or smoke a joint or whatever. You watch this film and you're gonna enjoy
It's
yourself.
fun.
Yeah,
It's fun. It's fun. Like some
fun.
slasher movies should be. It should sometimes.
It should.
It's gory, but it should be fun.
Well, the only thing, my problem is I could compare it to the original, and
I know, but we can't
I know,
always
I know,
do
I know,
that.
I know.
We're
You gotta go back and watch the 2009 re-release, and you see the gore I'm talking about, dude. You're gonna be like, why was this taken out, man? Like, oh my god.
See, for me, it's just always been an issue. If you're gonna do a remake, you want to separate yourself from.
You
from
do. You're right about that.
Like
yes.
you take the Evil Dead, the remake. I mean, the Evil Dead. I love the Evil Dead remake. It was.
That's how you
amazing.
do a remake. Yeah.
I mean, you want to separate yourself from the original.
Absolutely.
Like you take even what's another one? The Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, but they separated them, so they made. And it was a fun movie to watch.
Yep.
I mean, for me, is you want to separate yourself from the original. You want to kind of distance. You want to bring the same atmosphere as the original, but you want to push it a little bit more, especially for the newer horror fans.
Yeah, this movie didn't really do anything to elevate itself past its predecessor. It just kind of tried to do something similar. And in my opinion, it didn't do it as well as the original version. But that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. I did. I really did.
It's an enjoyable movie. It's enjoyable.
That's why it was enjoyable.
Like the fact that the character of Harry Warden, which I'm gonna call him that because that's the minor. I'm not gonna call him Tom or nothing like that. But the fact that he would rip the hearts out of people, and at Valentine's Day too, that's such a cool oh man, that's so cool.
No, I mean, like I said, I mean, it was sold on the 3D you know. And
Yeah, if
unfortunately,
you
that's
watch it without the glass, it does take away, especially if you're one that gets turned off by like bad effects. Because the movie has good effects until those scenes happen. Like when Tom Atkins was taken out. Again, spoilers. This movie's like what, 12 years old, or I don't know, whatever.
yeah.
You know, like it was a cool death, but it looked like a Mortal Kombat fatality where it
Yeah,
slowed
yeah, I
down,
see what
it
you're
moves
saying.
around, the blood hits the blood looks so CGI. It's like, oh, come on. But hey, man, you know what? He did get fucked up. Which, funny story, that got spoiled by fucking Fangoria magazine. Because Fangoria had this thing. They would preview movies, right? Oh, My Bloody Valentine,
Yep.
3D, right? You oh shoot, that's what you turn the page. The first size of picture of Tom Atkins was have his jaw missing. Okay, so I know he dies already. Thank you. They were notorious for that. I digress. But all right, let's close this up, though. Gr, any closing thoughts you got on this film?
No, I mean, look, you know, for me, I'm always about the story,line. Everybody knows I'm about the storyline.
You're a story guy, yeah.
I'm a story guy. For
That's
me,
understandable. You
yeah,
need that.
For me, it's just it's a fun movie. I'm not gonna take anything away from the
Yeah.
fun factor. It's gory. It's fun to watch. Yeah, you go in with no expectations. I mean, like Joe said, you know, it's hard to compare movies to the originals, but fortunately, you know, you do that from time to time because that's expectation you get.
Favorite death? What's your favorite death in this film? Favorite kill?
Favorite kill was the girl with the shovel. He put the shovel in her mouth and he just
Classic Day of the Dead right there. Popped half her head off.
It reminded me also of One Wrong Turn.
Yeah, because yeah. How about you, Joe?
Actually, the same kill.
Yeah,
That was my favorite kill. This movie, listen, go into it knowing this is like if you're watching this movie, this is your classic trope where you get an actor that draws you in. If you are a Jensen Ackles fan, Kerr Smith fan, or a Jamie King fan, this is the kind of movie you want to watch.
That movie came out around the time where a lot of remakes were coming out
yeah,
original 80s slasher films, and what
right.
they did was
this one did not. This one was above some of these remakes. To
and
be
that's what they
honest with
did. What they would do is they would take young hot actors from TV and throw them into these films to draw that audience in, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you do it right.
Listen, everybody's already said it. Jensen Ackles is hot, so I mean that's the reason you watch this movie. I mean, it's one of the reasons that a lot of people tuned in because of Jensen Ackles' Supernatural. He had a huge fan base. Again,
Supernatural in general, yeah, they got a huge fan base.
I think in the wars of the remake that Jensen Ackles beat Jared. You know, if you had My Bloody Valentine versus Friday the 13th, Jensen Ackles won.
Oh, who won for you, GR? Who are you taking?
I like the Friday the 13th, to be honest.
Yeah, I've taken him too. Yeah, Jared. I'm taking Jared. You know, because he looked more like the action guy. Like Jensen Ackles was more like your everyday guy. You know what I'm saying? But Jared, he stood out. And in that movie, we're not talking about Friday the 13th right now, but just to compare them, they're different characters in a sense. Jensen Ackles was the villain, and Homeboy was the hero.
Yeah.
So you know they
right, but Jensen was the hero playing the villain.
He did good though. You know what Jensen did in this movie when he was in the opening scene? He looks. Did they use CGI? Did they de-age him at all? Because he looked young.
No, I mean, it was young.
No.
But don't forget they did it. But they did a 10-year time jump. A lot like Axel got facial hair. He looked different. Everyone, but even Ackles looked a little different. Like I don't know.
No, he looked the same.
The same? Was it a clothing? Yeah. Maybe he dressed younger. Maybe
clothes. Yeah,
it could have been that. I don't know. It felt younger.
He dressed darker colors.
He looked a lot younger in the opening 15 minutes of the film as opposed to the time skip. But yeah, as far as for me, I dug it. If you want to watch something with your girlfriend, wife, husband, whoever, definitely check this out. It's a fun film. Like I said, don't go in looking for a storyline. There is one, but it's not too deep. But don't take it too serious. Go in for the kill.
It's a slasher.
Go in for the fun. Go in for the horror. Go in for the gore. Go in for the boobs. It has everything. This film, it's got more than boobs. So watch this film. It's awesome. We're not rating it right now.
No,
this is not what we're doing here. But we're just trying to, give a fun discussion. And maybe if you're looking for something to watch on Valentine's Day with some chocolate, you can't go on with horror film.
Wine. Or watch it with somebody you're about to break up with.
Damn, JR.
Yeah, that's
Anyway, but
that's
again,
dark.
It's
available-
horror.
Available on HBO Max.
HBO
So
Max,
that way-
guys. HBO
So
Max.
HBO Max, so that way, check it out. It's available on there.
Yeah, and if you want to find the original, watch the 2009 re-release. They re-released the original film, and yeah, you guys, both you guys, if you want to watch the original, go back and watch that because yo, man, the gore is awesome. And it's done so well, but because the MPAA, they had to cut half the movie out, unfortunately. So. But that's where we stand. Hey guys, thank you very much for joining in to Horror Fiend TV Valentine's Day special. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Be safe, be kind to one another, but stay scared because this is Horror Fiend TV. Peace.